All right, so you're a developer and you're looking to get into AI agent engineering. Well, you've come to the right place. We've put together a really personal, really actionable roadmap to guide you through this whole exciting, kind of crazy field. Let's just dive right in.
You've seen the demos, right? You've heard all the buzz, and you're thinking, I want to build that. You want to build intelligent agents that can think and plan and actually do things. And that's an awesome ambition to have. But let's be real for a second. Figuring out where to even start, it can feel like a total maze. And that's exactly why we're doing this. For the next few minutes, just think of me as your mentor. We are going to cut through all the noise and map out a structured 3-month plan. This is going to take you from being just a curious developer to someone who can confidently build and ship AI agents. No fluff, just a clear path forward. Our journey is going to be broken down into 3 pretty logical stages. First, we'll spend a month just laying a solid foundation. Then, we'll move on to assembling your practical toolkit. And finally, and this is the fun part, we'll focus on building a killer portfolio that really proves your new skills.
All right, month 1. This is all about nailing the absolute fundamentals. Look, before you write a single line of agent code, you have to understand how these large language models actually, well, think. You can't build a strong house on a weak foundation, and it's the same thing here.
First up, tokenization. This is, and I mean this literally, how an LLM sees the world. It doesn't read words like you and I do. It reads these little pieces called tokens. Getting this is so fundamental because every single token you send to a model and get back costs you money. It directly hits your budget.
Next, let's talk about context windows. The easiest way to think about this is like the model's short-term memory, or its RAM. There's a hard limit to how many tokens it can hold in its head at one time. If your conversation gets too long and goes over that limit, it literally starts forgetting what you talked about earlier. Your job is to make things work inside that memory limit.
Now, you're going to hear about fine-tuning and prompt engineering a lot. Fine-tuning is super powerful, but honestly, it's complex and it's expensive. As a beginner, your entire focus should be on prompt engineering. This is the art of writing great instructions to get the model to do what you want, and it is the single most important skill you will develop, period.
And to round out month 1, you're going to tackle RAG. That stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. This solves a massive problem with LLMs. They only know about the stuff they were trained on. RAG is how you give your agent access to new information, like your company's private documents or real-time data from the internet. You'll want to start with embeddings and vector search. That's the core of how it finds information. And then get familiar with the basic RAG architecture. Okay, month 2. You've got the theory down, so now it's time to get practical. This month is all about grabbing your toolkit, the frameworks, the patterns, the stuff you'll actually use to build these intelligent agents.
At the absolute heart of every single agent is this core loop. It all starts with perception. It has to understand what the user is asking for. Then it's going to reason and plan out a series of steps to accomplish that. Next, it will act, usually by calling a tool like a calculator or a web search API. And finally, it observes the result of that action and reflects on it. Is the job done, or do I need to go through the loop again? This is the engine that drives everything.
Now, the great news is you don't have to build that loop from scratch every time. Frameworks like LangChain, Crew AI, and AutoGen handle a lot of the heavy lifting for you. My advice, just pick one. Honestly, LangChain is a fantastic place to start and really go deep on it. Mastering one framework will speed up your progress like you wouldn't believe.
Now let's get into how these agents reason. An early trick was chain of thought, which is basically just telling the model to think step by step in its response. But a much more powerful pattern for agents is react. The name says it all. The agent first writes out its reasoning, and then it chooses an action, like which tool it's going to use. This makes its decision-making process so much clearer and more reliable, especially for tricky tasks. As the problems you're solving get more complex, your agent designs will too. A planner-executor model is great for straightforward workflows. One agent is the manager that makes the plan, and another agent is the worker that executes it. But for really messy, dynamic problems, you'll start looking at multi-agent systems. Think of it like hiring a whole team of specialized AIs, a researcher, a writer, a coder, that all work together on one big goal. And that brings us back to the memory problem. Like we said, an agent's short-term memory is stuck inside its context window. So to give it a real persistent memory that lasts between conversations, you need to build long-term memory. This usually means storing key facts or summaries of past chats in an external database, often a vector database. This is really what separates a simple chatbot from a truly useful personal assistant. All right, month 3 and beyond. Theory is great.
Having the right tools is essential, but at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is what you can build. This final stage is all about putting your knowledge into practice and creating real projects for your portfolio. So where do you even start? Here are 3 awesome starter projects. A personal web scraping tool is perfect for practicing that core agent loop. An automated data analysis agent is great because it shows you can work with data and APIs. And building a simple game NPC is just a really fun way to show off more complex reasoning and decision-making skills.
As you build, please do not treat security like it's some optional extra. It's not. You have to implement tool sandboxing so your agent can't accidentally run dangerous code. You have to learn how to defend against prompt injection attacks that could let someone hijack your agent. And it is absolutely critical that you redact personal data, or PII, to keep your users safe. These things make your agent safe and reliable.
So you've built an agent. How do you know if it's actually any good? You have to test and monitor it. This is where observability tools like Langsmith and Langfuse are your best friends. They let you see the exact step-by-step thinking your agent went through, which is a lifesaver for debugging. Then you can use evaluation frameworks like Ragos or DeepEval to put an actual score on its performance.
Now, this might be the single most important piece of advice in this whole thing. The key to making it in this field is consistency. Use a roadmap site or even just a text file to track what you learn every single week. And even more importantly, join a developer community on Discord or somewhere similar. Sharing what you're building and getting feedback from other people is the fastest way to get better, bar none.
Look, at the end of the day, you can watch 1,000,000 videos and read 1,000 blog posts, but nothing replaces actually getting your hands dirty and building stuff. Your real journey starts the second you stop just consuming content and start writing code. Practice is what closes the gap between knowing the theory and actually having the skill.
So there you have it, a clear 3-month plan to become an AI agent developer. The path is laid out for you, the tools are out there, and the opportunity is absolutely massive. The only question left is the one you see right here. What are you going to build first?